And Maria was the oldest, then my father, and then Ophelia, and then little Albert. We had an Albert.
Magu's father.
And Ophelia was Elisa's mother. Did you know her? Were you in contact with Elisa, cousin?
Yeah.
She was the one that...
That's what she inspired Bert, like me, to kind of keep on the trail of some of this.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we found Esteban's teaching contract with his school in Ojinaga in that time frame. I think it was 1905 or 1906.
Now there again, I'm wondering, it was signed in Chihuahua. So
Yeah. That's where the seal.
Texas was still part of Mexico, I guess.
No, his school was in Ojinaga, but he was born
in El Paso, yeah.
U.S.
But at the time, Texas was still part of Mexico, wasn't it?
No, not then. No.
See, that's where I'm confused.
No, he was born in U.S., but he had his school and he lived and was married.
Because he taught in Spanish.
Yeah, in Ojinaga. That's where his school was.
Yeah.
And then, interestingly enough, that's where Isaro was born, in Ojinaga. He was born in Mexico.
Oh, really?
But his
My
father? Yeah.
Isauro?
He was born in Mexico, but your grandfather, Esteban, was born in U.S. across the river.
Well,
it just shows you...
I just assumed my father was born in El Polvo.
No. He got married and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of Ojinaga records. But
I know they used to walk across the river.
That's why that book, The River Doesn't Divide Us, kind of story is so true.
Well,
we found a lot of records that go back, and right now, currently, I'm interested in your mom's side, the De Anda side, and then her mom was Lucia Alvarez, and she married Ramon De Anda. And their parents, this especially Lucia Alvarez, her father was Abram Alvarez.
Now, see, you know all that now.
But I don't know the dates.
I didn't know any of that.
And Jesusa Molina was her...
So I'm not a good source of information.
Well, we're just putting together that part of the tree, I think.
I grew up knowing more about America than my background.
But you lived with the De Anda sisters, right? Mm-hmm. You knew the De Anda sisters and your aunts, your moms?
Well, I met them, but I couldn't tell you anything about them. Let's see, there was
Aunt Mary?
Rita and...
How about Aunt Mary?
Huh?
How about Aunt Mary?
Well, Mary was on my father's side.
Oh, okay. So your mom's sisters...
Rita was the oldest of the De Andas, and then there was Romualda.
Yeah, Romualda.
And one other one, and then my mother. I think they were just... Juanita was Mama's sister. I just don't... You know more about the De Andas.
We'll track this down. It's interesting that you're mentioning the names. We can continue our search.
Yeah. I don't know how you find the time to do that, John, but...
The benefit of being retired.
When you put it all together, let me know, because I just...
Yeah, we'll make a big tree, a visual.
Like I say, I'm a poor source of information. As old as I am.
You'd be surprised. You have your stories.
I can only tell you what I know about my life.
Well, that's good enough. You told us that you used to walk to school and different things, like as a girl, and you were only allowed to walk with your sisters, or?
Well, I walked with the neighborhood kids too, But, we didn't know we were poor. We enjoyed our childhood. I don't feel... We were very poor, I know that now, thinking about when we remade the old clothes and all that. It had to be because we had to. But at the time, as a child, I didn't realize that was sacrificing anything. It was just the way we grew up.
I think it's the
Because a
same
lot of
thing.
people were poor.
Or even middle class. You don't notice when you're a kid.
No.
I mean, maybe you notice if you're rich. I don't know. But
We lived near a family of Italian children. There were 8 of them,
okay.
and we played with them. But they were even worse off than we were. They were poor.
Did your brothers play baseball as boys? Not
Well,
just.
they played ball. I don't know if they called it baseball.
Yeah.
We lived on the edge of town, kind of. It wasn't in the city proper. It was near the railroad, the southern part of Stockton. I don't know if you know Stockton, do you?
Not really, I don't.
The south of Stockton, good part of town, I guess. But we didn't know that.
Across the tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where all the poor Mexicans lived. But there weren't very many of us.
Well, your dad worked with the produce and making levees and irrigation works, and eventually
Dad worked
the
on
big
in the
stores.
farms
Yeah.
that were around there. And,
That's always interesting to me because that's what they did in Texas.
Yeah,
That's what they did in Polvo, where these land grants from
right.
way back in the 1870s.
Well, Grandpa must have worked that way somehow along with his teaching, because I don't think that his teaching was all that he did.
I think it was seasonal, because the school opens and then the school closes and then he has to go do something else and then he comes back and the school opens again, that kind of thing.
It surprises me that he didn't learn English, because I don't think he ever
Esteban didn't speak
Esteban.
English?
never spoke English.
I'll have to look at the census records on that because they're in there too. We have that. But what about when Isaro, your father, when he came out to California and brought the whole family? Then,
What about them?
yeah.
Well, he came because he was married, and he'd already been to California as a young man and liked it out here, and there was lots of work, farming. And so he thought he'd do better here than Texas. It was too dry, and I guess the land around where they lived was not very productive. They raised corn and I don't know what else, but on the Rio Grande, they were right on the Rio Grande. And there was water in the river sometimes, not all the time. So he just decided, leave Texas.
There's a
And
lot
then-
of turmoil too there during that period.
But then other members of the family followed him because he'd always speak glowingly of what was out here, the opportunity to work and
And he wrote letters to his cousins. We have copies of these
Yeah.
letters to his Acosta cousins and
really.
different, the people
See,
back
now
home.
I don't know. I know he was in touch with the Redes cousins, that family. But
Francisco, I think. Francisco Rede, he corresponded with. And then also, I forget his first name, but the Acosta, there's many letters where they wrote back and forth. Especially in certain periods where he was trying to establish his location of birth.
oh yeah. But I'm surprised that he was born in Oinaga.
Well, your father.
My father, yeah. How about the rest of them? I mean, Maria and...
No, I think they're Texas. They're in Texas there.
I'm confused as to just when Texas
That was in
became...
1848. That was like half a century earlier.
Before the Civil War?
Yeah, 1848.
John, 36, the Alamo,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in there, and depending on which partial,
Mm-hmm.
they annexed it.
Mhm.
in 1847.
Yeah, because Texas, it became an independent republic. You know, they broke off from Mexico and became an independent republic, and then they became part of the United States.
Yeah, I knew there was something there. I'm poor on the history there at that time. I should do a little better on that. That's lost on me. Okay. So a lot of the Lujans and the family cousins kind of followed Dad to California. That's why so many of us are here. But except you, your side of the family didn't leave
Mhm.
for California.
Yeah.
But the Texas people, some of them around, came.
Yeah, they call him the pioneer or something like that, the Isaro. He came
Well,
west.
I don't know that I've seen any of that information written anywhere.
Oh, it's in there in various pieces.
Are you going to put it together or what?
We'll see. I mean, we're working on it.
Well, it's to me it's just confusing because I don't know.
Yeah, well, you're curious too, like we are.
Yeah, now I am,
Yeah,
but
you
I
should
wasn't.
be.
I was very self-centered, I guess. I just
Well, you're probably like me. You're visual, so if you see a family tree and you can see the connections, it makes
I
sense.
feel I want to know more about my family and what's happening right now than what happened long ago. I mean,
Wow.
that's over and done with. But what are the kids doing now?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The
A lot of
Luhans
them
are all
now,
over the place.
yeah. And they're in interesting work.
You know, there's
Not very
Luhans.
many there are in the medical field, and I don't know where I became so interested in that because, as far as I know, we don't have any medical doctors, do we?
Well,
in the
your
family?
sister's children. Marie, she became
Well,
a
Marie,
doctor.
yeah, that was Helen's daughter,
Helen is her sister, and then
My
her
sister.
daughter became a doctor.
but I don't know of anybody else.
Well, there's a lot of PhDs. They're very well
Oh
educated.
yeah, well the PhDs are coming in now.
And then they're in Texas and
It
elsewhere.
amazes
They're
me.
not-
A lot of the Texas people, more of them went to college
Mhm.
than the California offspring.
Mhm.
I think those that stayed there went on and became titled people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
The Reyes family there.
yeah. Denise
Yeah.
Chavez comes from that line, I believe.
Yeah, Denise
And-
Chavez, you know her, the author.
Who?
Denise Chavez.
Oh
She
yeah,
had-
Denise. Is she still in Texas?
Las Cruces.
in
Oh,
New
she's
Mexico.
in New Mexico.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Is she my generation?
I don't know. I couldn't
Let's
say.
see, Denise.
How
She
old
was
is
the
Denise?
daughter of a
I'm not
cousin
sure.
of my father because I remember one of the Reyes. Do you know the Reyes history family?
Very little, very little.
One of the daughters of Grandpa,
Mhm.
Esteban, married into the Reyes. So we lost the Lujan name there somehow.
But she became well known because she had a library in her place, like in her house. She kept a library for kids to come
Mhm.
after school.
Oh yeah.
And she
yeah.
actually got an award from Reagan, I think, President Reagan. Or somebody
that's
gave
right.
Bush, or somebody gave her an award.
Yeah.
And she's super, and I
Yeah.
think her children
Yeah, there was
became,
one.
isn't
grandchildren.
Enrique her son? Enrique Madrid?
Oh yeah, Enrique Madrid. Is he still around?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he? Now where does he live?
He's in a nursing home. I don't know if it's Fort Davis or Alpine.
Texas?
Yes, but
See, I never met him. I don't
Yeah.
think.
He stayed in El Polvo, didn't he?
yeah, he still has a
he
house
was the
there.
one that stayed there in El Polvo. And he's like super knowledgeable about the
Is there
family.
somebody still living in El Polvo? It isn't El Polvo
Yes,
anymore.
yes. Yes, there's some of the descendants of Carrasco.
The Carrascos live there.
The
Yeah.
Carrascos?
Yes, and then the
Oh.
Madrids and
Well, one of the
descendants of
the
bankers.
younger daughters married a Carrasco.
Antonio.
Antonia. But see, you know more than I do about
Well,
that.
it's in the tree. I'm not some, I just have a good
When you
recall.
get your people written down and get this thing written, I'll know more because I don't know anything about all that.
Well, Enrique knows a lot about the family history, so
yeah.
he would be another one to do this kind of recording with, to let him speak.
And he went into the American, the Indian side of the family.
Mhm.
I mean, I think he dug into that and found out actually where we came from, where the Indian came in. We call it Indian, but it isn't.
Now they call it First People.
Oh,
Yeah, the natives call it First People.
Yeah.
The archaeologists, I think they'll call it Amerindians.
Yeah. Or indigenous. I just read this really interesting thing. I'll talk to you more about it, this 2024 study.
well, since you have become all this search of our background, now I think, where did all my dark skin come from? Which Indian tribe?
Maya.
And we don't know that for sure, do we?
Yeah, we do now because you know how you did your mitochondrial DNA?
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, they just sent me the results last week. They're not complete. They're still analyzing part of it. But on the part 1, they sent me an email. And one of the biggest connections is to the Maya.
Maya?
Yeah, to the Maya from 500 to 900
So that would
AD.
be from the Mexico side,
Yeah.
not
The Yucatan. Chichen Itza. Did you go there? To Chichen Itza? In northern Yucatan? Well, that's where
Oh, really?
yeah, we
See,
share
I didn't know
DNA.
that. I thought we came from some tribe in America. I mean,
Well, they're-
north of the Rio
Well, we all
Grande.
do. It depends. The Lujan side is different from the De Anda side. See, this is just the female side. So it's
Oh,
you, Elena De Anda, Lucia Alvarez, Josefa Molina.
mhm.
Or Jesusa, I'm sorry. Jesusa.
Lucia looked very Indian,
They're
but
Maya.
my mother was quite fair.
Well, she's a De Anda.
Adianda from Adianda side.
Yeah, so
Her
maybe
father
Ramon and
Her father was fair-skinned, and I understand he had blue eyes.
Mhm.
So he had to
that's
have
interesting.
come from Europe, the European
You mean Ramon De Anda?
side of it. Yeah.
You know what's interesting is the fellow in Mexico, this chief archaeologist on this Chichen Itza, his name is De Anda.
Oh my gosh.
But he's not necessarily related to us, but it's maybe
Yeah.
on some level he is.
yeah, that's a coincidence because there's a archaeologist from Mexico that he's very knowledgeable in the Aztecs, and with the Lujan centuries back, about 3 centuries back, Antonio Cayetano, he's at the top of the hierarchy. He married Juana Teresa Sotelo, and that line goes to the Aztec emperor 500 years back, and that one's on paper. We got it on paper, and I'll bring in the tree on that so you can take a look at that. And he has a copy of it too.
So you're a descendant of noble Aztec Montezuma, and also
I don't want to be related to that guy.
No,
well, you're related to his daughter through marriage. But you know what? You're also related, and all of us are, to the Spanish Basque people.
Oh yeah. Well, the Lujan.
Those
Lujan
names.
name is Basque, isn't it?
Yeah, Acosta, Carrasco, Franco, they're all Basque names.
Well, Lujan is unusual for Hispanic
Even
name.
Orozco, the demon in our El Rondin, you know, the bad guy, is Pascal Orozco. It's a Basque name, and his father came from Spain. They were herders, so it was one of the things you could do in that part of Mexico was raise animals. You know, besides the beans and squash and farming right along the river, they were herders and cattle.
Yeah.
In fact, during that time in the Revolution time, there was a lot of cattle for guns kind of transactions.
Well, you sure have picked up a lot of interesting information. A lot more interesting than what's happening within our family today, I think.
Yeah, well, I won't disagree. But I think part of it is interesting because it's so unknown. That's why, like when Dolly was telling me about Papa Esteban and knowing how many steps it was to get to the store.
She knows a lot about him because, hi.
Hello.
I do because of my back. But you had a big gap between Steve and Pete was like 8 years. Pete was born
7
in
years.
7, okay.
Yeah, let's see.
To January
But
1950.
see, the war was on, and Dad was away, and he was in Italy. So those 7 years, I was finishing up school and working. So by the time the war was over, I had completed my education, so I was able to work so he could go back to school, and he did. He went back on the GI Bill
And that's when you lived in Berkeley on Regent Street?
right. See, you remember all that?
Well, just because I kind of study it, but that's where Pete and Tina were
then,
born.
Yeah. And then we began to have children after that, after he joined the church.
That was the ticket.
And you came along. Well, you came after Tina. Are you 4 years from Tina?
Yeah, we already moved to Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete and Tina were from Berkeley.
Yeah.
But didn't you, I mean,
Well,
that was...
somehow I kept on working because Dad was finishing up school and raising you kids too. It was not easy.
Where did you live with like 5 people in a household?
We lived in Berkeley on Regent. We had a big house.
Okay.
And I remember we paid $45 a month rent. And it was a big house with 4 bedrooms. And I remember we had termites, and I didn't know what to do with the termites. My grandfather would have known what to do.
But the little kids, Tina and Pete, they didn't go to school there though, right?
Who?
Peter and Tina, they didn't go to school in Berkeley.
Let's see, where were we?
We were in Wyoming.
I think we were in Wyoming by that time.
Yeah.
When they were ready for school.
I forget the name of the parish there.
Those were interesting years also. But I was a stay-at-home mom during those years. 8 years I stayed home.
Did you move for Harry's job? What inspired the move?
What was what?
Why
What
did you move?
inspired the move to Wyoming?
Oh, Dad's job.
Yeah.
He wanted a job change, a little more money. We were having kids. And there was this job offer. They were looking for a health inspector. His degree is in public health, or was in public health, on the engineering side of it, not the... But he ended up becoming a food inspector, well, an inspector, because he was involved in water supply and sewage disposal and how food was handled in the canneries and that kind of
Mosquito
thing.
abatement.
It was very interesting work, I guess. But this opportunity came up in Wyoming, and being curious, and Dad he always wanted to try something, you know.
It was a promotion.
Yeah. So we looked into it, and he got the job as chief inspector for 3 counties in Wyoming. Wyoming was pretty open, but
Still
they were
is.
interesting years.
Still
We
is.
learned a lot.
I remember he took us to the sheep ranches out there, Tony and I at least.
Yeah, you
Pete,
used to
Pete
go
probably
in.
went with us, but we went out there and there were these like straight-sided covered wagons, and these guys they'd have their goat herds out there and sheep herds and just live out on the range.
Yeah.
That's where we thought we were living like little cowboys.
Yeah. Well, we lived in the city though. You didn't really know the Wyoming country life.
Not much. I mean, we
We
witnessed
lived
it.
in town in a house, but some people lived out in the open. And, yeah, but those were interesting years, and I learned a lot about raising children and sewing and cooking and canning and putting up food for the winter because that's what they did.
They still do.
So I learned a lot by staying
Long winters, I remember.
Long
Yeah.
winters.
I remember we were all sledding on the streets in front of the house and making igloos.
But again, we moved back to California because we needed more money. You kids were, dental work and all that, and I went back to work. But I had to retrain because I'd been 8 years out of the field, my field. And by that time, lots of things had changed, so I had to retrain. I don't know how I did it, but I did. So, next 30 years I worked, and you kids grew up. But I say you were the one who was kind of unpredictable
It always
because
comes back to you.
you didn't always go by the rules, the house rules.
Yeah, Pete was better at that. That's how he ended up student body president.
Yeah. But you were all good students. Do you remember Mr. Your English teacher?
Oh sure, Mr. Hillman. Yeah, he loved Pete.
Hillman. He liked you for some reason.
Well, he liked all of us. He liked
but
our whole
you were
family.
his favorite. He always asked
He
about
wrote a book. Do you have his book, that Ports and Players? That
I had his book. I think Tina has it. She
Okay.
takes all the books and then I don't see
he
them
was,
again.
he was super fond of our whole family. He was kind of a haughty English teacher guy, real proper, and wanted everybody to be an A student. And all of us were kind of,
And Tina
A
found
students
out that
without trying almost, and so he just he liked our family. He used to live in El Cerrito.
Tina said he was gay. I didn't even know what gay was.
I didn't know.
He wasn't married, but
I had no clue about
who
that.
was what?
Yeah.
But he was a nice man. I guess he's gone now too.
He was getting towards retirement, I think, even then. He must have been 60 or 50 or something. I don't know. He seemed like an older teacher to me. But we had a lot of student teachers from Berkeley, so.
Oh, it was at that time that I found out that some people were gay. I didn't know people were that way. And here I was, a mother with 5 children, and I just began to learn that there were other people different. And I didn't know that we had any in the family, except now I know.
Well, when you had people at the hospital, there was quite a diverse crowd of doctors and nurses and assistants. They're all they're from Berkeley, from all over the place. There must have been a good mix of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember we had the parties at our house where you would have all the.
Yeah, we had gatherings at the house quite a bit.
Probably 50 people or more, like this party yesterday. I don't know how you guys did it back then.
Yeah, we always had somebody staying with us. you know, friends of yours and Pete's
And you even
friends.
had the big family reunion up at Pollock Pines with the Luhans and everybody arrived.
My sister Loy loved to have gatherings of family. And did you hear about her, Eloisa, my sister?
Mm.
Yeah, she was the one that had the family, but the local mostly.
But you guys had that one reunion at the Pollock Pines at Cedar Grove. And I forget if
yeah.
it was you or Dad, but you wrote about it after.
That was the cousins reunion.
Okay, that's what
My
it was.
cousins.
Yeah.
And that's where we met some of the Dionda's cousins. My mother's side of the family, but she was gone by that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you remember your mom like more than when you were a girl, but as an adult, like when you
Yeah,
reconnect
I think
with?
so. I think when I was a child living at home, my grandmother, the grandparents, were more dominant in the family than my own personal my mother and father. Father was away working. Mama was in the kitchen, but Grandma was actually person to person in touch with us.
Teaching you to sew.
So I think I learned homemaking more from my grandma than I did from my mother. So,
But she was, you told me that she was like a happy and kind of very much of a caregiver personality. She used to feed the hobos
yeah,
at the
she
back
did.
porch.
She was a very generous person, and she was always holding somebody's baby.
Cooking.
Peter was the only, well, no, Steve was the only grandchild
Yeah,
that she knew.
because I never knew her.
And when she died, I was expecting Pete. But she would have been happy to have all these grandchildren.
Mm.
I don't know about my dad. He drank. I mean, he was quite. And after Mama died, he even drank more. So we kind of lost touch that way.
But he came to live with us in Wyoming, didn't he, for a while?
Well,
or
he
somehow...
came to visit and he stayed a little while. By that time, he had learned the barbering. He was a barber, and he found a job there.
I think he cut our hair. I remember that.
So he worked there for a while, but he had his own little apartment. But for the first part of his visit, he lived with us.
Yeah. I remember visiting him at his apartment. And then
Really?
also later in his life, didn't he live in Stockton in a place like that? You
I
know,
don't remember that. Where
I
you
don't-
visited him?
I remember visiting him, and I remember him cutting our hair.
Well, yeah, when you were in Wyoming.
And we had his barber kit later on.
Somebody has it.
Yeah.
Dolly has
Probably
it.
Dolly has it?
Yeah.
I was going to say Tina has it, but
No, Tina. Dolly has some of those things.
she might have El Rondine, the original. Yesterday when I spoke to her about it, and I was showing her the Xeroxes of what I had to work with when I did that book, and she said, "Oh, that looks like my copy or something. That looks just like the one I have." And I was like, "What? You have that? You have the original?" And she goes, "Well, I'll have to check and see if it's the same." But I think she might have the hard copy, the
Oh,
little small original book with
yeah, there was a little book.
the squirrel skin cover.
I didn't know who ended up with that. I thought Elisa had it.
Well, it might have gone from Ophelia to Elisa to Dolly, but I'm not. I don't know.
Because I had it for a little while.
Okay, then maybe Dolly got it from you, because I
Well,
only
thought
had
it
the
was from
Xerox.
Elisa and me. I didn't know Dolly had it. Had
Okay,
any part of it.
maybe she just has it now.
Well, she lived near Elisa. So. But they think there might have been another book of his.
Or at least some writings
Or some
Pre-
writings, yeah.
pre 1912.
But I never saw what was in his little notebook that he carried with him all the time.
Well, we have copies of some of it where it shows his drawings and diagrams and his little maps and calculations, and
Where did you get that?
they're in the records. They're in the boxes here now. Some
What
of
are you
it's-
going to do with that stuff?
Well, the first thing is to inventory it.
Well, when are you going to do that? I mean, I don't like for it to be stored up in that
No, I don't
empty
either.
house.
Well, it's not empty, that's for sure.
Well, I know, but nobody takes care of that.
Well, that's my spot.
And their animals get in there, and
No,
mice
not-
and rats. And,
No, I put these up off the floor, and I'm not going to leave them there any longer than they have to be. They have to be inventoried.
some of your stuff is in there. Well, you have some.
Well, it's Elisa's stuff. There's now nine boxes.
I worry about it because I think animals will get in there and destroy it.
Well,
Get really good bins.
we won't
Apparently
sort
not.
by then. Some of it's still office boxes, but
Home
it's
Depot
not.
makes some really good heavy duty
Yeah.
latches with O-rings.
Yeah, and it just
If you
seals.
sit them in there,
Yeah.
that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
They're very heavy duty.
Yeah. Because some of them have to, we have to take them out, see what the hell this is, look at it. Some of them are books. They're hardbound books that, not written by our relatives necessarily, but interesting looking hardbound books about Presidio or about some of the areas there. So I'm curious. I want to look at them today for a little while.
Yeah, you
I was-
should.
I was hoping before Bert and Sylvia
Yeah,
leave.
Take Bert up there.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
When you get ready to take a rest, or you're sort of done with this a little.
I went to mass on TV.
It's 11:30.
I go, that's where, and
What
usually
time
they
do you
bring me
guys have?
communion, but I
Adam will
told
be-
them not.
It's okay. It's dry, and they're off the ground. We're gonna put some of this stuff.
No evidence of animal, okay.
No.
Well, it's a sturdy building.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Okay, your mother, do you have any of your mother's recipes? What was your diet? I mean, what did she cook that you really love and passed it down to the kids,
Well, I have a recipe book that my mom did put together with her. I mean, they didn't have printed recipes, but at one point in my life, I think that the church was putting out a cookbook as a fundraiser, and they wanted some of my recipes. Well, they were really my mother's recipes, but I had her sit down and try to give me portions. So I wrote the recipes from just her memory and order. I don't know where they ended up, but there is a church cookbook that's out.
That's
has
where they
some of
ended
them.
up.
And so that's the same those recipes as which you guys ate
Yeah,
constantly,
like
daily?
albóndigas and arroz con pollo. We had a lot of that. And well, there was no recipe, but in order to put it down, I had to ask questions. What else? Arroz con pollo.
Of course, your tortillas.
Well, tortillas,
Yeah.
but there's a recipe for tortillas too. You still make tortillas, you say?
I do. I sure do.
Did you make menudo?
The flour tortillas?
She makes them good.
I learned how to perfect.
Well, my mother, they
after I
just put flour in
retired-
a bowl and a little baking powder
Yeah, lard.
and just a handful of fat
Mm-hmm.
and water and salt. I
Yeah.
think that's all that's in there.
I know, but they had it's not just about that. It's about the kneading of the flour,
Yeah.
and then
Then it
how
was all mixed.
you
in.
gotta let it sit for a little while and things. And there were steps I was missing for many, many years until I finally retired and decided I'm gonna do this right.
You
And I got
probably
it.
make great
It's-
tortillas.
Oh my God, they're so good.
I haven't made any
Grandkids
for years, but
come over, Grandma. Where's the tortillas?
Now, what about menudo and some of the other stuff?
Menudo.
Menudo.
my father, when I got married, and I married an Anglo,
Mm-hmm.
he thought I would never make Mexican food or how to make tortillas. And he gave me, he made a special,
Metate?
not a metate, rolling pin.
Oh, okay.
And it's small
Mm-hmm.
and only about that long.
Is that
And
the
I
one we
still
still
have
have?
it.
Yeah, we still have it.
Yeah, for tortillas, because he wanted me to always remember to make tortillas. Well, I ended up making them, and the kids loved them.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean,
they have to
everybody
keep
did.
making them.
But I haven't made them in years. And then you cook them on a griddle. You have a griddle, an
Oh,
iron
yeah.
griddle.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know how I would do it on an electric stove like that.
Well,
though.
that's all I've ever had is
But I
electric
can't do
stoves.
that anymore. You have to make it like you say, knead the dough and let it rest, and
Mm-hmm.
then you make the little
Yeah.
tostales, they
Yes.
call them. And yeah, every morning I made tortillas for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Made a stack of them.
Yeah. And
What about your chili recipes? No, chile colorado, chile verde, con
Well,
carne.
chile verde, yeah, we used to have chile verde, and I think that I have a recipe of that. And chile colorado, tamales.
Mm.
I didn't learn how to make those.
Oh.
I
Do you make
did.
tamales?
Yes, I do.
Menudo?
She's a better
I
Mexican
have to
than
learn
I
because
am.
of him.
What about menudo? Did you ever make menudo? Menudo?
Oh, menudo. I love menudo, but I've never made it.
Oh,
okay.
I think they made it at the house, but I never made it.
And what about your dad? What was his favorite meal? Your father?
Well, I think he liked menudo. I think I remember they had menudo on Sunday morning breakfast after some kind of a gathering the night before. Menudo was kind of a crudo for the
The cruda?
anyway, yeah, menudo, and what else? The meat, carne asada, carnitas.
Mm.
I don't remember any.
And you
But
know,
I always loved chile verde. They made it with pork
Mm-hmm.
and chile verde.
and then tacos and burritos were different when you
No,
were.
we didn't have
yeah,
tacos and burritos.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. They became kind of a fast food.
Yeah, it's a newer invention.
But now that's what you get when you're in a Mexican restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Tacos and burritos.
What about mariscos? Did you eat seafood or not too much?
No.
Mariscos?
No, what are they?
Seafood.
Like seafood.
You
Seafood,
know, fish
shrimp,
or
fish.
camarones or anything like this. Shrimp and fish.
Octopus.
No.
No seafood.
Wow.
Some people are real meat eaters.
Yeah. I didn't have much fish when I was growing up, except what they went out and fished.
Oh,
For
okay.
Catfish or something.
Catfish.
Catfish is awful. I don't
Yeah.
like.
Some people.
No, we had chicken. We had a lot of chicken. And of course, fresh eggs. Chickens laid eggs. We had eggs. And boy, there's nothing like a fresh egg after you've eaten the storage eggs that are.
How about the garden? Was it your father or your grandfather?
No, Grandpa.
Grandpa kept the garden?
He raised everything in the yard. I guess we had a large backyard because they lived in the little cottage in the back. That was the original little cottage that my father bought when he brought his bride to my mother. It was just a little 3-room cottage. I don't think it was any bigger than this. Maybe not as big. I remember that little place. Well, when the money came in a little more in 1938, about the time I was graduating high school, they built the big house, the new house, and they moved the little house to the back of the lot for Grandma and Grandpa.
Okay.
And our house, by that time, there were all of us living there. That was where I spent maybe another year when I went off to college, and then I never really returned. I used to visit, but
I showed Bert the picture of your family with Isaro and Elena and all of you, all the kids
when I
lined
have
up.
it in there.
Yeah.
That's the one that my aunt, she gave it to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she had Ana Maria, and I guess she got it from you guys. Mailed it over there years ago, and she had the same copy, and I showed it to you. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same one.
Yeah, I remember
It's the same
that.
source, but I don't know who mailed it to her.
Yeah. Well, I know for a fact that she would. I think they would keep in touch. You know, Ankel.
Okay.
I was told that Ankel, my grandfather, he would keep in touch with everybody,
Okay.
and even Frank.
Frank Lujan.
Frank Lujan,
See,
Jerry's
that's another
dad.
one. Frank Lujan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Jerry is his son.
Now,
Jerry.
Frank Lujan was the son of another brother. Not your
Oh,
not your
no.
father.
He comes from Secundino, the
Yeah.
brother of Hilario.
Oh.
You know, so that's a branch. You know, separate branch.
So Esteban's father, Hilario, his brother Secundino, his son.
Yeah,
Oh gosh. Well,
that comes from, and they both
have
had
you
photo.
made a tree?
I think it exists, but we haven't made it like all
Printed out.
inclusive. Printed.
I'd
we
have
need
to
to-
see one because I can't
It'll
place
take
people.
up your whole wall for a while.
I can't place people in the right place,
Mhm.
the right generation.
I could work on something like that. You know.
You know, back in the day when I was working and I had this CAD software, this computer-aided drafting software, and I had all this information from Elisa,
Mhm.
and I made a CAD drawing where I just put everybody, and I made all the text the same size, and I made the little brackets with the tree where the names go.
Where is it?
Well, I still have it, but it's 6 feet long, literally, because it
I
includes
guess so.
it includes Dad's side and your side, and actually your side has more people now.
Yeah,
I always
that's
thought
true.
I always thought Dad's family, you know, we had the written genealogy, and it goes back to 1695 or something. But on the Lujan side, it goes back way further in both sides of the family. So the Lujan tree is pretty extensive.
Yeah.
Okay, now you mentioned on the Deanda, Romalda, or what's her name?
Romualda.
Romualda.
Now,
Yeah.
see, I don't know
And
any
then,
of those.
okay, now
at
I
all.
think it's the same one that she was living in Van Horn, and my grandfather would always stop by and talk, visit her. She married a Lujan.
Oh.
I think what was it? What was his name? I don't know if it was Manuel or somebody or Antonio. One of them.
Yeah.
Lujan.
Was her maiden name Flores?
No, she was a Deanda.
Oh, a Deanda. Okay.
Yeah, Deanda, because you mentioned it earlier, and so I said, no, that
No,
sounds familiar.
Flores was my grandmother's family.
Well, there's two Floreses. There's one on the other side too.
Oh.
Yeah. But we don't know anything about her.
No, on the Deanda Romalda, on our Caetano, we have descendants
Yeah.
because, like I said, she married a Lujan, and her, they're,
So she's another
Sure,
double
sure.
cousin.
yeah, she's
There's lots and
another
lots
Lujan.
of double cousins.
Yeah,
Double.
imagine.
Triple.
You guys have fun because I just don't know. I can't get involved.
Well,